All right, guys, I'm back with a weekly update video. I'm making this video today on January 25th, 2022, and I want to talk about the possibilities of cold and snowy weather for the Ohio Valley. And before I get into that, I want to remind you of my pro site. If you haven't joined there yet, I'd love for you to join. You can join at www.patreon.com/Ohio Valley Weather. And if you join there, you're going to see a lot of extra details regarding the weather of the Ohio Valley. Well, so the first thing I mentioned was cold, and let's get right into the cold. So these are the forecasted temperatures being forecasted by the Gfs model for Wednesday, tomorrow, January 26th. And actually, this is a temperature anomaly map. These are not actual temperatures. A temperature anomaly map shows you the deviation from normal temperature. And you can see most of the Ohio Valley, we're looking at temperatures in the range of 20. And in here, this would be up to 30 degrees below normal. So this is extremely cold. In fact, tomorrow, Wednesday, could be our coldest day yet of the year. In case you're wondering, the normal temperature in Columbus, Ohio for this time of year is right around 35 degrees. So if we were 20 degrees below that, we would be looking at a high of about 15. If we make it to 30 degrees below that, we could see a high of just 5 degrees tomorrow. Now, I don't actually expect it to get that cold, but certainly I think we'll be lucky to see a high of 15 degrees tomorrow. And just so you know, things are not looking much different for Thursday. This is showing Thursday morning. And again, we're looking at a widespread area of temperatures 20 to 30 degrees below normal. So again, this would mean highs, say around 10 degrees or maybe up to 15 degrees. And we would be looking at lows near zero or below zero. So certainly very cold the next couple of days. Now, I want to look at the GFS model and see what we can expect as far as the possibility of snow. And so let's get right to that. So here is the GFS model. This is the map for today. And if I push this out, you can see high pressure approaching the Ohio Valley. And notice that we are going to be on the east side of that high. So around a high, you get clockwise circulation. And so as that high approaches us, we're going to see winds out of the north, and that is going to drive cold Canadian air down into the Ohio Valley tonight through tomorrow morning. Now, as that air crosses over the Great Lakes, it could cause the possibility of a little bit of lake effect snow flurries, but we aren't expecting a lot. But with the sky clearing today, we don't have a lot of clouds. And so the clouds are not going to be there to hold in our heat from the day. And again, it's going to get very cold tonight. And you can see as I push it into even Thursday, that high is still right over us and almost right over us to the point where it's not really going to significantly change the wind direction until later in the day, Thursday. Now you can see as we go into later in the day, Thursday, that high does go off to our east, and this will start to allow for a warming trend Thursday afternoon and into the next several days, Thursday into Friday. Now, notice this area of low pressure up here in Canada, getting some strong winds up there and a lot of snow as this crosses over Canada. As this system passes to the east, there's going to be a cold front that trails behind it. That cold front's going to be right about through here. And so in the day, during the day on Thursday, that cold front is going to cross over the Ohio Valley. And as it crosses over the Great Lakes, you could start to see some snow there. We're getting to see it overnight. This would be Thursday night into Friday morning. Not expecting a lot there. There's a little bit more coming into southern Ohio. There we see a little bit more later in the morning. This would be around 4 a.m. Friday morning, getting some snow in southern Ohio. Again, I'm not expecting it to accumulate a lot, but with the cold temperatures that we'll be having, that will have no problem sticking. So definitely Thursday night into Friday morning, we could see a light coating of snow. Now, I want you to pay attention to this area of rain over Texas. This is a low pressure system that's developing, and this system is going to make its way toward the east and start coming up the East Coast, and it could merge with this cold front that was passing over us. So as I continue to move that forward, you see that area here, and actually it's transferring all the way over to the coast here, off the coast of the Carolinas. And you can see as this low develops over here, it's going to start forming a nor'easter in the eastern United States. And so you can see this is later in the day, Friday, and it's starting to throw some snow back into the Ohio Valley and into Pennsylvania. This is actually really similar to the snowstorm that we had on January 16th, the one that gave us nearly a foot of snow here in the Ohio Valley just over a week ago. The problem is, though, it's looking like this low is going to track a little further to the east. And so if it does that, then the Ohio Valley will not see as much snow as we did from that last big snowstorm. But because this is out over the open water where the water is very warm, that's going to strengthen this low and allow it to really become a lot stronger than that last storm. And you really start to see it strengthen as it moves up here. And we get a pretty good snowstorm up here into northeastern United States. But like I said, if it's this far east, it would, for the most part, miss the Ohio Valley. But there'd be some really strong snows. And look how close those isobars are there. This would be some strong winds, perhaps even blizzard-like conditions for the Northeast. And yeah, you can see that pushing up into all the way into Maine with very heavy snow. So if this low could track further to the east, it is feasible that the Ohio Valley could see a snowstorm similar to the one that we saw about 10 days ago. But right now, it's looking like that's going to track further to our east and mostly miss us. So why is that? Well, let me show you why I think that this storm will mostly miss us. So this is the NAO, the North Atlantic Oscillation, and this is a measure of the temperature of the waters over the North Atlantic and the high or low pressure system that then forms over the North Atlantic. So when the waters over the North Atlantic are cold, it causes a high pressure system to set up over the North Atlantic, and that high pressure would block snowstorms coming up along the East Coast and cause them to stay further to the west. And you can see back around January 16th, the NAO was not negative, but it was pretty close to neutral. And that made it close enough to being negative that it allowed that storm to track closer to the west and get into the Ohio Valley. But as you can see, since that time, the NAO has been trending positive, which means that the high pressure over the North Atlantic is weakening. And I don't think there's going to be strong enough pressure there to force that snowstorm coming Friday back to the west. And so because of that, it looks like that storm will, for the most part, miss the Ohio Valley. Now, what about beyond that? What should we be looking for? Well, take a look at this. This is the PNA. You might remember the PNA stands for the Pacific North American Teleconnection, and it is a measure of the temperatures over the western United States. When the PNA is positive, like it has been since about the first week of January, when the PNA is positive, that means you have warm temperatures over the western United States, and that forces the cold air into the east, including the Ohio Valley. But as you can see, right now we're just about at the peak, and over the next several days, we're expecting to see a downward trend in the PNA as the western United States cool down, which will force warmer than normal air into the east, including the Ohio Valley. In fact, I'm almost going to say at this point, as we get closer to the 1st of February, it looks like winter is essentially going to take a break for a while, and we may even see some spring-like conditions by the first week of February. In fact, if you look at this temperature anomaly map, this is for Thursday, February 3rd. And you can see by February 3rd, we're looking for a strong negative PNA, giving cold temperatures out west. And look what's that's doing in the east. It's forcing temperatures into the Ohio Valley that could be between 20 and 30 degrees above normal. And remember, the normal for this time of year is around 35 degrees. So if we get 20 degrees above normal, that means by February 3rd, we could be looking at highs in the 50s. And certainly that is going to feel like spring. Now, the thing is, though, some people may be thinking, okay, so does that mean winter is over? You know, I think it's too early to make that bold of a statement. I think maybe for a few days, we're going to see winter taking a break in the first part of February, but certainly it is too early to say that winter is completely over. And in fact, the Climate Prediction Center is agreeing with me on this. And you can see the Climate Prediction Center has issued their 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, and they're calling for above normal temperatures from January 31st out through February 4th. Okay, so this does not extend beyond that. Beyond that, we could see it cool back down again. I'd say at this point, it's too early to say for sure. So anyway, I hope you liked the video. And again, if you haven't joined my pro site, I would invite you to do that. You can join there at www.patreon.com/Ohio Valley Weather. See you next time.